Well, it looks like some outside organizations are now coming to the defense of Ripple in their case versus the SEC. There are now several that have filed what are known as amici or amicus briefs to the court defending Ripple. So in this video, I'm going to tell you who they are and what they're actually saying, and what do these briefs actually do? Can it actually help Ripple? And are there others filing these briefs in defense of the SEC? So we're going to talk about all that stuff in this video. Also, I wanted to mention that this Monday in the United States, the Fed has just announced an emergency meeting. And so we're going to talk about some of the speculation about what that could be about. Hey everyone, my name is Randy. Welcome back to the Late Night Grind. Right now on this channel, we are covering the Ripple versus the SEC case, as well as other cryptocurrency news, investment markets, and personal finance. So if any or all these topics interest you, make sure you hit that subscribe button, join the Late Night Grind community, and if you do a couple things, I'd appreciate it. Smash the thumbs up button, and watch this video all the way to the end. Those are the two best things you can do to support a YouTube channel. So if you do that, I greatly appreciate it. All right, guys, let's jump into it. So let's first start off by talking about what the Federal Reserve is going to be doing Monday. They just announced that there is going to be an emergency meeting. Now, anytime the Fed announces an emergency meeting, it's usually not a good thing. All of their other meetings are scheduled, and you can see them coming weeks, even months out. However, this one has Twitter abuzz because an emergency meeting like this, and the fact that they called all the governors of the Federal Reserve to attend this meeting, says that it's probably very important. Now, if we look on the global scale of things, we see that was just announced the other day, Germany doing some stimulus, doing some money printing. There's several other countries that have basically reversed course and are now doing money printing. Now, the United States Federal Reserve has said for basically the better part of 2022 that rate hikes are going to be a part of 2022 and into 2023. They're not afraid of pain. Pain is coming. They've mentioned this several times. Of course, we've seen the effect on the housing market, and mortgage interest rates are going to continue to climb. But here's where some of the speculation comes in. Now that we've seen some other countries reverse course a little bit, some of them even starting the money printer again, is the United States actually going to do that? Are they going to talk about easing up on the rate hikes and reversing course and essentially printing money, which is basically what caused all this high inflation in the first place? Now, the inflation numbers continue to come in really, really hot. Some are speculating that those numbers, because they're hotter than usual, the Fed is going to talk about this and potentially reverse course. Do you really think they would turn on the money printer? Just a couple of weeks after Jerome Powell announced that they're going to continue rate hikes even though the pain might be severe. So this is something that I'm definitely going to be paying attention to, as well as the markets. Pay attention on Monday, especially Monday afternoon, what those markets are going to be doing, because as some of those notes come out from that meeting, if they do in fact come out, they're probably going to cause some volatility. Just be warned. All right, so now let's get into some of the news that has been shaking out and coming out in the Ripple versus the SEC case, because this is interesting. So what several outside parties or third parties have been doing is they are filing what is known as amicus briefs. And in short, it's basically a friend of the court. And while they don't necessarily have to have a relationship to a defendant or to the prosecution, in this case Ripple or the SEC, they're allowed to submit their opinions, requests, different information about the topic being discussed. Now, depending on the court case, these are taken sometimes with a grain of salt, and sometimes these are relied on very heavily when the judges and the courts are making decisions. So what exactly has been submitted? Well, first of all, you have John Deaton, who of course is the outside attorney going after the SEC. He's been making known that he is filing his amici brief, his amicus brief, and he has filed his. But what is making news is the outside third parties that are submitting their amicus briefs now. And the first one that I wanted to mention is by a company called Tabjets. Now, the biggest reason they submitted theirs is basically in defense of XRP used as a currency, because it says in their amicus brief, being able to accept cryptocurrencies, being able to accept XRP as a form of payment is actually critical to their company. Now, so not only does this come to the defense of Ripple, it also points out another utility and use case for XRP, the cryptocurrency. Now, they do accept others as well as XRP, Bitcoin, and a few others. So it is definitely one to watch. It was very short and to the point, but seeing another one come to Ripple's defense, not exactly shocking. But then here we go. A second one followed up right with that. This one from a remittance company. Now this one is actually one of RippleNet's partners. This from a company called iRemit. Now they're a remittance company that uses RippleNet software. Their amicus brief was basically in support of Ripple, and this is something that you should have suspected, especially if they're one of Ripple's clients. And they're submitting their amicus brief because they have some special insights into the actual use case of XRP in terms of remittances, cross-border payments, and things like that. And so like I said at the beginning of this video, amicus briefs are a lot of times to give outside opinions, facts, and information that the parties involved in the case don't exactly discuss. They can kind of give a third-party perspective, which again helps out the judge in decision making. So those two are the most recent ones. We've also had the Digital Chamber of Commerce. They actually filed a motion. They filed a motion to ask for a leave to file their amicus brief, meaning they actually wanted to wait for certain things to happen, put together their brief, and look at Ripple and the SEC's responses to some of the things that were already in the work. So of course we had that one that made news a couple of weeks ago, I believe. But nonetheless, these are starting to pile up, and a lot of people on Twitter are wondering if we're going to see any more, or what has been noticeably missing from this is amicus briefs in defense of the SEC. We haven't seen any of those yet, and I highly doubt we will. And if we will, well, there's probably something political about it, or it could be something anti-Ripple, but nonetheless, I honestly don't expect any of that to come in defense of the SEC, which would go along with the narrative and the facts of this case, everything going heavily in Ripple's favor. So, like I said, Monday is going to be huge because the Fed having their emergency meeting. That is going to have an effect on the rest of these markets, including the cryptocurrency market. Right now, Bitcoin, it just seems to be kind of hovering in no man's land. It's not doing that one leg down to potentially $10,000 or even $7,000 like some people expected it could do. However, October and November, well, they have also been proven to be very volatile in the crypto markets, and then when you throw the macroeconomic instability and illiquidity of not just the US markets, but the global markets, as well as what the US dollar is doing comparatively to crypto, comparatively to Bitcoin, and comparatively to the rest of the world's fiat currencies, this is one of the most confusing times in terms of financial outlooks and who could be right. There's a lot of people that I follow, a lot of traders, day traders, as well as macroeconomists that have given their thoughts on this. And you know what? For the past 3 to 4 months, a lot of them, they've been wrong. So what is coming down the pike? Well, that remains to be seen. However, like I said, Monday, that Fed meeting is going to be big. So if you want to have a discussion about it, leave a comment on my Twitter profile. You can go in the description below. I have a link to my Twitter profile, as well as several other XRP Twitter profiles that are very good follows. And if you're wondering why I don't have comments turned on this channel anymore, is because I did a review of my comment section the other week and found that 93% of the comments were spam, they were bots, they were scams, and I didn't want this audience subjected to that. So until YouTube does something about it, I'm going to have them turned off. If you want to have a conversation with me, hit me up on Twitter. Also, there is some new polls. You can go ahead and participate. Hit the community tab on my channel. There's some new polls that I would love to get your thoughts on regarding cryptocurrency and this market. And give me your thoughts. Is the Fed actually going to turn the money printer back on or continue to raise rates? Let me know. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end, for smashing that thumbs up button. And as always, I'll see you guys on the next video.